Okay, so yeah, about UFOs. What's new to say? You know, there's the most common sighting that everybody's seen where the guy's in the forest and he sees a bright flash of light, starts to levitate, and he faints and wakes up with a rectangular incision in his body with a large metallic piece inside of him, etc., etc. Blah, blah, blah. The biggest problem with it all is that it all sounds like a dream. If you look at every abduction story, they all sound like dreams. They all have very little recollection. And even if you put them under a lie test, of course they're not going to be lying, but it could still be a dream. Hello? Have you ruled out the dream factor? Most of the abduction stories happen from people's bedrooms. That one with the guy in the woods is the only freaking one that's ever been through the woods. Every other one's been in someone's bedroom. And how many times do you dream about UFOs? Well, I'll tell you what. Most of your dreams are about things that you're afraid of, things that may happen in the future that your mind gets creative with. And it also takes things from your past that tell what's going to happen in the future to broadcast a possible rehappening of events. Things that you've seen and things that you've done, etc., etc., blah, blah, blah. I can only go into that so much because it's redundant after a while. And it's very easy for dreams to pop out for your head, for your brain, while you're sleeping, to pop out something like this. Because if you get into UFOs and you start reading all these stories and you start finding holes and things that you don't understand, then you become afraid because fear happens when you don't understand something. There's fear in not understanding and not having any first-hand experience in something, but you read about it. And that's one of the biggest, worst kind of fears is when you hear about something tragic happening to someone else that you've never felt that very easily could happen to you. That is something that easily fears people. Scares people, sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Fears is not a correct terminology. Um, and if you build a fear to these UFOs, like I did when I was little, you'll dream about them. I dreamed about getting abducted when I was younger. When I was just sort of starting to get read into the UFO sighting stories, and it was really the abduction stories that scared me most. And it was when I developed this dream theory, I really felt a lot better. Because by having that dream, it really showed to me that I could really just destroy most of these, tales. Because a lot of them, they really don't make sense. There's a lot of holes in them, they say a lot of stuff that is common in dreams, where they say that the eyes were big and black and hard to look at. When you're in a dream, you tend to look away a lot. And a lot of what happens tends to jumps around. So your memory gets kind of spotty of it because the actual dream itself jumps. There is no storyline. There is no, linear function. It is broken up and it is constant. So therefore, anything that happens that is like a dream can easily just be said, okay, this could have happened, but it's more or less likely a dream. But I do think that abductions do happen. Not because of the certain stories, but because of certain facts that I know. Because I know for a fact that something big is being planned. A big movement. And it's through abductions that I don't want to call them the Greys because gray is just the color of their suits, of the body that's underneath. There's a body underneath, you know. The gray body is just a suit, a spacesuit. So that doesn't really say anything. Who knows? They're reptilian. That's all I really know about that. But that's basically the reptilians' way of controlling what's going on because they've been here forever. Well, since the beginning of man. They're the one that sparked our entire civilization. They're the one that made the slight altercation in our DNA that, you know, made us in their image. Hence, fucking Bible terms. And then they took the rib of Adam and made Eve. God, I can only say that so many fucking times. It's fucking common splicing. That's why there's an X and Y chromosome. That's why we're all partially the same sex. Duh. Jesus Christ. Well, all animals are partially the same sex, you know. All animals have X and Y. I guess that's not really that good of an argument. Whatever, dude. It's just, you know, with some of these abduction stories, they make a lot of sense in the fact that they fit right into the plan that there's another massive movement coming up where they're implanting a new ideology. And it's not like just any kind of, it's not like a physical movement. It's a mental movement. It's a change in thought pattern. Because right now, the human race is de-evolving. We are regressing. We are digressing. Because we need less. And we're not feeling the need to push ourselves. And they don't want to have to bring up a natural catastrophe just for us to fucking do the right thing, you know? Which is for America to attack Afghanistan. No, that's not what they're doing. I've never been abducted myself, so I don't know exactly what their plan is. I wouldn't recommend listening to a bunch of abductees either, though, because half of them, like I said, at least half, dreamed it. They had to, because I've dreamed being abducted. That sounds just as real as some real abductions. And I know it was a dream, because when I woke up, I remember, just like I remember every dream. The dream was in black and white, like all dreams. And it was like any other dream where my friends were there. And they were by my side getting also abducted. And we were all like searching the fucking ship. I mean, it's not like it was fucking real. That wouldn't make any sense for them to abduct a big group of people that are all friends with each other. What the fuck? Of course it was a dream. You know, I have no doubt in my mind it was that it was a dream. You know, I know it was a dream. I know what's a dream and what's reality. Even if they brainwashed me, and then I dreamed it back up, that wouldn't be the dream, you know? Because that just didn't make sense. And a lot of abduction stories just don't make sense. So I'd say don't listen to people who don't make sense. You know, if their UFO story doesn't make sense, it probably didn't happen. As goes everything in life. Any scientist will tell you that the most ideologic theory, the one that makes the most sense, that is the most practical, is the first one that a scientist will stick with, and is 90% of the time the right one. Because when they come up with all their different theories, their 10, 20, 30 different theories, the one that's not necessarily most feasible but most practical is the one that usually is the right one. And then after they do more studies, they figure out, yes, it was the right one. You know, they have studies that show that their studies of their different theories um, prove that the one that they thought was most practical was the actual one. That's the way it works. You know, you don't want a theory that has a whole bunch of holes in it. If it has a whole bunch of holes in it, then it most likely isn't true. Holes are bad. Solid surfaces are good. You want a solid theory. Thanks for listening. I'm sorry I can't be of more help. That's kind of like what I had on my mind today. And, I'm remembering shit works. I have more information up in my head, but don't remember it because nothing's happened to remind me of it. So next time I remember something or have some kind of UFO thought, I'll be happy to tune in. Thanks for listening.